All right, everybody, we are just about ready to finish up removing the last bit of flooring to include the engine mount. Now I know originally we weren't planning on removing this, but we actually have to. Let me move this little guy out of the way first. And you'll see what I did was I do plan on keeping these just for reference purposes. In the past, these were actually already destroyed, so the idea of me even keeping these wasn't even an option because all the underlying wood was completely destroyed. But what I did this time is I cut a couple old 2x4s and I drilled 2 screws on each side. And I'm going to go take the oscillating blade and slice that one and then slice that fiberglass so we can lift this entire piece out as one. Just in case I need to take some measurements, you'll see towards the back right about there where there's some beveled cuts on it. That's so your exhaust pipe can bend around. I may keep that for reference purposes. It would just be helpful. You can see along the back side it's completely already cut, and you saw in the last video we had cut the outer parts right along those edges here, right over there. So that's already good to go. In your situation you may be able to do this, maybe not. It's kind of, you'll have to gauge it, but the whole point of this is you'll see during the rebuild process of actually putting all your flooring and fiberglass back in, if you don't have a good reference to where the motor is going to sit, this could be a nightmare. I'm telling you, this is probably the worst part of rebuilding the flooring and the transom as a whole, is not knowing where the motor goes, or even worse, trying to guess. Because if you guess, chances are you're going to get it wrong, and then you're going to have to cut into your fiberglass, which is maybe already gel coated, and that could be a little bit of a problem. So things to consider. Take some time, mock up exactly where this was before you cut it out. So let me show you. You saw earlier in the frame I made this little guy, and what it does is it actually bolts in from the back, and I drilled 1/2 inch all thread through it, and it bolts from the back, because remember, if you try to bolt it to the front, there's going to be a new transom there and it's going to be thicker, so it's going to affect the pitch. So what we did is, you can see there's a certain angle and a certain depth. What I did here was I cut 4 12-inch 2x4s and then screwed them together just like so. Nothing fancy. And then I drilled in 2 1/2-inch bolts. I actually drilled 2 at the bottom, but it's not as important as just having the 2 main ones. And then I cut 2 30-inch 2x4s there. And then I've got these little guys. And what they do is they tell me where the engine mounts are. And it also allows for the height too. So I know the engine mount is supposed to sit down here. And what that'll do is it gets you the angles. So when you put in your new transom and you're starting to work on your flooring, you know, roughly speaking, where this needs to be. You can see why it's kind of important, because the manufacturer of this boat originally, when they went to, maybe they had a tool similar to that, you can see it wasn't straight. So there, and you probably saw some of my earlier videos, the engine mount is actually hanging over all the way over here. So that's bad. In fact, what I was planning on doing if I had kept this was to cut along this edge here and to move it over, just so it had a little bit more sturdiness on the motor mounts here. So going back to this is kind of what we did. Nothing fancy. Like I said, I'm not trying to make a perfect measurement. I just want to know what the right angle is, how far the motor is, and then about where these are going to attach. Kind of important pieces as you're rebuilding it. And when you have this already configured, it's going to make life a lot easier. So like I said, 2x4s, 12 inches. I cut some 30-inch pieces here, and the holes on this model are 22.5 inches apart. Pretty easy, right? Now, one thing to note is you're going to actually have to pull this out in a certain fashion, because these 22.5-inch spaced holes won't have enough room to clear it, at least if your engine mounts are still in place. I'm pretty sure if these were not here, you could probably twist it a little bit to make it go through. So I made it where you could actually just unscrew these, and make sure you make some tick marks. Right, I did it on both sides. So when you go to take this off, you know exactly where they're supposed to go. Okay, so what we're going to do next to finish this thing off is we are going to cut along this edge here and down here, all the way down both sides, and then we'll get this out of here, and that will, ladies and gentlemen, complete the rear section of the removal process of the stringers, the floorboard, the motor, you name it. It's going to be a whole nother beast as we work towards the front. Just some quick previews here. One of the reasons why we're going to remove it is we do have some rot right here. You could technically tie into this if you didn't feel comfortable working towards the front. We've kind of talked about this in the prior videos. There's some rot there. You can kind of see. This one's good right here. It's not too bad. It's all about what kind of job you want to do at the end of the day. And same thing here. Whew, that one went like straight through. Sorry if that hurt your ears. Anyway, yeah, it's going to get kind of tricky as we start cutting in there. You'll see in the next video series how we plan on doing that. But there's going to be plenty of obstacles. And as we talked about before, we're going to go in there and remove that live well tank. That's not going to be needed. Let's do a quick look up here. I got some ideas about what I plan on doing. You'll notice there's a huge cutout for things like life preservers and other type of miscellaneous objects you want to put in there. But you go on this side and there's actually just this live well tank. So part of the problem here is I can't get to any of these, right? If you're gonna bolt a seat to here, I can't get to any of the hardware that's back there. That's gonna be a problem. So we'll cut the live well out, and then I'm actually going to extend the cutout and probably take a template here from this and just mirror it over here. It's going to help me get to these bolts back when I go to reinstall the seats, and just give some more opportunity to store stuff up front as needed. We're also going to have to cut around this edge here in order to get this plywood out. It's going to be the best way to do it. Then hopefully we can get the rest of the carpet out. Carpet's already bunched up underneath there, really tough to get to. And then everything that's happening on this side of the boat, you have no exposure to it. You can't see. I can't get access to any of it, so we do have to do some demo there as well. Here's a quick shot of what we've done so far. If you've been here since the first episode, you probably noticed a huge difference. So let's go ahead and cut that little piece off and that one, and let's get rid of this engine mount. And another thing to note, if you haven't heard me mention this already, you want to get yourself a 50 pack of this. These are bimetal blades. You probably heard me talk about these over and over again. Only way to go. Got to go with the bimetal, and I got a 50 pack here. And they hold up pretty good.
Okay, so I got the gas mask on, and with that, we also made that cut on both sides, and voila, it's completely removed. Let's take a look at the underneath. The wood definitely shows sign of moisture, but as a whole, it's actually not that bad. It definitely needs to dry out, that's for sure, but it's not that bad. So I think what I'm going to end up doing, just because you really don't know what's inside here, and the other piece too is how long is it going to take for this to dry out? Is it going to be a day, which is definitely not going to be the case. It's more likely going to be, I mean, I have a device that will measure moisture inside of wood. I've used it for installing flooring to make sure it's acclimated. And what I do know is it's going to be at least a week or two to acclimate wood based on humidity. Now, wood like this that's actually been soaking in water for years, it's going to take weeks. It could even be a month before the water is completely out and dry here. So as you can imagine, with any kind of project, if you're waiting for wood to dry out, probably not the best option. So what's likely going to happen here is I'm going to duplicate these measurements and recut this wood and reattach it. Shouldn't be too hard. I mean, the wood is pretty well intact here, not too bad. It's just, it's a shame that it's so wet. So anyway, I'll go ahead and remove this out, and believe it or not, this whole setup, as I was lifting it, probably weighs a good 40 pounds. You have to wonder how much of that is actually water. Let's take a look at underneath it. Get this out of the way. Okay, so we had a little bit of water here. This is still damp, but as you can see now, we have access to the full piece of the transom. Alright, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take out my oscillating blade and finish cutting out the rest of the transom so we can call the transom good, and so, you know, so to speak. We'll finish cutting along there, and then what we'll do afterwards is we will switch over and start finishing up the demo in the front, as you saw in the prior video. So like I said, let's go ahead and cut along these edges here and get this transom, at least regarding the wood, in a better shape here. Okay, so I'm just taking my pry bar back here. Ta-da! The last of the rotten wood. So what I'll do from here is remove the last of it. You can see on this side, I've already taken the oscillating blade and kind of trimmed it up. You'll still need to grind up a little bit on there, but it's pretty good. But all in all, this is it. This is the last bit of the transom demo. I hope you liked it. Stay tuned for the next series as we go in the front of the boat, and we're going to start demoing in there. So as always, like the video. If you thought it was helpful, subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Have a good one.